3 years ago, when I started boxing, I would always lose in the first rounds because at the time I hadn't known how to spar properly. Both time I learned these free sparring tips that now allow me to win almost all of my sparring fights. Without these sparring tips, you're gonna lose your next or your first sparring fight. And by the way, the third tip is the most important of all of them. But you still gotta take notes of all of these free tips. So tip number 1, always keep your chin down. And I'm gonna give you an exercise on how to get used to it. Because when I also started boxing, I would always keep it up. I have no idea why or how that was happening, but it was like this. I was going, I thought that gave me more power or something. I have no idea. And by the way, the exercise, grabbing a tennis ball or maybe any ball, putting it over here and grabbing it like this. You see that? Putting it like this and holding it. And now what you want to do is shadow box. Like, and do not let it fall down, because let's say you're hitting 1, 2 and it falls. That means you're keeping your chin up. This exercise will help you get used to it. Tip number 2, it's basically fading. So let's say you hit 1, you feint, and you hit an uppercut. It's basically tricking your opponent because he's thinking, you hit 2 times the jab. So there's a probability that you're gonna hit the third jab. So they're gonna expect it and they're probably gonna dodge. So by tricking them, by going feint and then hitting the uppercut, will trick them. If you don't use the feint, your opponent's gonna expect almost all of the punches. Feinting is especially good for tricking your opponent, for making them throw out their combinations so you can catch them lacking. Now the last tip, the third tip, the most important tip for all boxers. You know, I wish I had done this sooner, to be honest. Basically, moving your head around. What? That's it? I mean, it sounds simple, but at times we forget to move, right? Because when we're boxing, we're like this. You know, we're moving around, but our heads are just staying still. We're like a tree. The more you move your head around, the more your opponent will be confused. But just be careful not to get hit when you're moving your head around, you know. If these tips were useful, join my Discord community in the description. And anyways, I'm Emil, and I will see you later.